Good morning. It's me, Pearl, and this is Tuned in Tarot, and I'm here to take a look at the energetic balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine aspects of self, understanding that whatever state these energies are in, we can see reflected back to us in the world around us. So we could glean things about people from real life, but really we're only seeing them reflecting back our own energies. And if we want that energy to change, we need to shift that energy within ourselves, which can sometimes be a hard lesson to learn. So let's get learning. Okay. Divine Feminine is going first again today because all of her cards were showing. I think she's going to be taking the lead quite a lot lately. Since yesterday, she was really focused on just kind of doing her own thing and really not waiting around for Divine Masculine to step up. The first card, top of the deck, overall headspace for Divine Feminine today is the Seven of Cups in reverse. So we have someone who's been feeling very overwhelmed, someone with a lot of opportunities, a lot of feelings, a lot of options, and that's going to come up again for her. And when I'm seeing this card in reverse, normally I would say I feel like she's made her choice, like she's not confused anymore and she chose what it is that she needs. But I actually have a feeling that she is resisting making a choice, that she is feeling overwhelmed. And I do have, I think, 7 cards in the heart space today to make sure that I really do read this card this way today instead of saying, oh, she's not confused and she's chosen. I think she is confused about what to do. There's a sense when I saw this card, I immediately thought, what do I do now, right? What do I do now? And she's not entirely sure. She knows that there's a lot of different possibilities and potential for her growth. But she's just not really sure at this time exactly what to do. And she's resisting making the choice. I think she realizes when she makes the choice, which in this case is to walk away, because we're moving from the 7 of Cups, and then the next cup, the card after that is the 8 of Cups, and that's walking away from what doesn't serve her, sadness, disappointment, etc. She knows that she's going to have to leave the divine masculine behind. And so she's really resisting making this choice, but she's in a place where she's considering it. The niggling thing in the back of her mind is the Chariot, and it is in its reverse. And again, I would normally read this as like, oh, she's kind of feeling out of control and she needs to surrender the reins and check her ego, etc. But I actually think that what this is about is she's not wanting to take any forward motion yet because she doesn't know where to go. So the Chariot is halted in place because she doesn't know now what to do or where to go. And she's trying to figure out where it would go. And there's a feeling of like, well, how, like I want to move out. I personally want to move, but where and how, right? Those kind of feelings, like something like that, where she's like, I want to change careers, or I want to change this relationship, or I want to change my behaviors, or I want to do something, but I don't know how. And so I'm feeling overwhelmed with all of the possible ways that I could do that, and no sense of direction, no forward motion towards anything because I don't know where I am. Like, I don't know where I am right now. And I don't know what is happening to me. That's the out of control feeling. Like, I don't know how to regain control because I don't even know where I am at this moment. And so consequently, she knows that she needs to surrender to the divine. And I think she has been doing this. That's why it's in a reverse. I think there's a resistance because I think she's afraid that as she surrenders to the divine and really allows the divine to take the reins of that Chariot, she's surrendering this fantasy, that she's had. And the thing is, she really wants to. She doesn't want to hold on to this fantasy anymore, and I can see that from the rest of the cards. but there's fear about it because it's been a part of her for so long, and it's just been something she's believed in for so long. If she allows this new idea, right, this age of Aquarius, new energy, innovation, completely different experience, which I think she thought was going to be like, oh, you know, the separation will be over and the new thing will be that we'll be together in physical union. And it's really sort of more like, oh, the separation is still not over. And the new thing is that I'm not going to wait for it anymore. I'm going to move on and I'm going to be new, completely new. And so she's needing to surrender to that, those questions of how, because whenever you're in a place of like, how can I do that? I don't know. Is it like the 7 of Cups and the Chariot in reverse energy in your head? That's your overall and back of your mind. Then you're in a place where you're asking how, and you need to be in a place where you're asking why. Why do you want this change? What about this change will be helpful to you? It will free you. It will open up opportunities, which is the next thing she's thinking about. Opportunities. We've got this 2 of Swords. We've got choices to make. That's the feeling of being overwhelmed too. Just there's so many choices to make now, because if you've held on to this one permutation of your reality for such a long time, then you stop, right? The motion of the Chariot towards that reality stops. It's halted, and you're the one who's halting it, actually. It has nothing to do with Divine Masculine at this point. You've stopped. You are choosing now, which path do you take? Because you haven't even fathomed that. You've been fathoming what it would be like to have a different experience of this specific Divine Masculine. You haven't been thinking about what it would be like to have a different experience altogether. A different career, a different place to live, a different type of person that the Divine Masculine is reflected back to you through, like completely new energy. And so you're being cautious and putting up a defense. And the defense is really for this King of Wands. We saw him yesterday in the heart space, which was that she was releasing him because he wasn't taking action and he wasn't coming forward. And she's wanting now to be cautious in regards to any type of action that this Divine Masculine might take, because she's aware that as soon as she surrenders this attachment, he could come in, and she doesn't want to forget the reasons why she surrendered, the reasons why she wanted to release this attachment, because she knows intellectually that whatever has been happening will continue to happen unless there's some kind of a miraculous change. So even if he comes in and expresses himself, he's still going to be cycling through the same kind of behaviors that have been happening for them in this current permutation, because they have to be new completely. And she can't be sure that he will be. She also wants to be able to be her own man of action, take this large action for herself to get herself out of this rut that she's in. She feels like she's in a rut. She might even actually feel like she's at rock bottom right now. Sadness didn't show up in her headspace today. It's really a lot more about kind of figuring out what direction to go in that we're seeing here, rather than it is necessarily about sadness. But she's definitely being cautious in regards to that Divine Masculine energy and wanting to create her own action. And we have Strength again. This is a strong, strong Divine Feminine. This card has not left headspace or heart space for days and days. And she's really needing to be strong right now, because she's understanding that the perspective that she's gained has shown her, first of all, that she is strong, because she's endured a lot of bullshit for a long time. And that in order to maintain her strength, she really does have to surrender these questions of how, because she's realizing with that 7 of Cups in reverse that she can't really figure it out. She doesn't know. And so she's praying for guidance. She's praying that she'll get some kind of messages, coming here to hear these readings and just really figure out, okay, what do I do? What do I do? Because I'm still in separation. I don't even want to move towards physical union anymore because of the pain it's caused me. I want to move on. So how do I do that? How do I do that? And then we're seeing this Two of Swords is being clarified by the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And so this is another reason why she's cautious and why her guard is up. And she senses that this offer, this real world offer, it's in 3D, but it is not manifested. It has not come towards her. And if this divine masculine actually does pick up this offer and bring it to her, she is just like, I can't accept it. I can't accept it, because I know that what he brings me is more of the same, because there hasn't been a shift in his energy as far as she can see. Like, he would have to come with a whole lot of, I don't even know what it would take at this point to be able to prove to her that this offer wasn't just one from this old permutation of what their relationship has been like for so long. So she's being cautious because she does understand that she's releasing this attachment to him, and that means he can come in with that offer, and she no longer is interested in receiving it, which is a big surprise for her. And then we have the Six of Swords. And this is her being able to ferry herself through these waters of the emotion with her intellect, her awareness, and that swords energy, that clarity, that truth, understanding the strife and struggles that she's experienced have been the thing that have allowed her to navigate through these tumultuous waters and head towards her sanctuary. And it's interesting because this is the clarifier for the King of Wands. So the fantasy has always been that this King of Wands will take action and come and save her. But that action, that offer, it's never appeared. She's been wanting it. She's been trying to believe in the strength of the connection and the strength of the, she throws the card, the strength of the offer for this whole time, but she can't. She doesn't believe in it. She doesn't believe in it. So now it's really up to her, because in the imagery from Mystic Mondays, we don't see a divine masculine ferrying away a divine feminine and an inner child. We just see the intellect, the awareness, the ability to understand what you've gained from losses that have caused grief. That is what is really going to take her to her sanctuary. And it really doesn't involve a divine masculine for her anymore. And it's so interesting because we're going to go into the heart space and see this top of the deck. Overall heart space is the 6. No, the 8 of Pentacles. Sorry, not the 6. I saw those 6 there. But interesting that I said that, because that's about reciprocity. The 8 of Pentacles. So what she really feels like right now is that her strongest feeling is in her own work, in her own craft, in her own abilities to be able to create what it is that she wants here in the 3D. She's determined to do this work. She's determined to sort through these feelings of, I don't know how. Surrender, as she does know she needs to gain this perspective to be able to see a new way through this time that has happened, which is, really, really, really challenging for her. But she's trusting in her ability to be able to create her own pentacles. The niggling feeling in the back of her heart, though, is the Ace of Swords in reverse. I feel so much disappointment. She realizes that she has to work on herself. She has to go her own way. She needs to focus on her career. She needs to build her own kingdom. She needs to be her own King of Wands. She needs to ferry herself away. And because of that, she doesn't feel that she's ever going to really know this truth. She's not ever going to really see that new idea, that new energy coming from that divine masculine. He's stuck, and she's not going to see it. And she's feeling real disappointment about this lack of clarity and directness that she really so desired to happen. And then we have the 7 of Wands. So we have the energy that divine masculine was in, fighting against himself, fighting off opposing forces, kind of feeling stuck. I feel like she's got this energy now, and this is what she's needing to gain perspective about, because she's fighting against herself. There's like two parts of herself right now, not even just like the divine masculine and divine feminine energy, although that, but there's this part of her that wants to cling to the old, right? Wants to cling to these old ideas because the old ideas are comforting. The old ideas involve this fantasy of escapism by this divine masculine who's finally going to step up and do the right thing and make, this union physical here in reality. And instead, what she found is that she came into union in herself, and the divine masculine couldn't keep up. Like, he couldn't get there with her. And that's the old idea, that he would somehow pick up the speed, that chariot energy would drive him home to her, and he didn't come. So right now she's fighting off these actions like that she wants to take, that she knows are impulsive also, like, honestly, I'm getting a sense of maybe even, especially with yesterday's music coming up, there was suicide ideation, in an escapist kind of a way. I don't know how serious it is. If it is very serious, please call on your support network, because, don't mess around with that. I have experienced suicide attempts in my life, and it is a very dark place to be, and it's hard to reach out, but definitely surrender if you're feeling that you're fighting off action against yourself. That's something that you really, really want to turn to your spiritual community and your family and your loved ones to help deal with. And don't be ashamed, because everybody goes through that. But if there is that happening, she's wanting to fight that off. She's wanting to surrender and really just feel safe, because she doesn't feel safe right now because she doesn't know where she's going or what is happening. Here's the Emperor. This is clarifying the Two of Swords. I told you, this is who she's being cautious against. This is who she's blocking. This is who she's wanting to choose a new path and find a new path to be able to leave this Emperor energy behind. Because this is the Emperor that is fixed, controlling, rigid, and frankly, abusive in his neglect, in his inability to be able to receive or give to her, and withholding. She is definitely fighting against this energy from this Emperor as well. And remember, this is an aspect inside of herself: rigidity, controlling, not moving, being very fixed. And when I'm feeling this card, especially because it's clarifying that Two of Swords, it's not a feeling of her and her own Emperor energy. It's really the feeling of this power that this physical manifestation of the divine masculine has had over her in quite a negative way, and really wanting to release this energy. We have the Seven of Pentacles. I don't know if I've ever seen this one in the Crow Tarot. There's an impatience here that's happening, and it is in regards to this King of Wands taking action, and it's in regards to her own action. She's very impatient that she knows she's planted these seeds and hasn't taken any action towards them, and she's just kind of sitting there fixed and rigid in her Emperor energy, not moving, and understanding that the divine masculine is simply emulating her, right? He's just matching her where her own energy is. And she's impatient with herself for having put herself in this position and done this. And she's really wanting to see the fruits that she's planted come to bear, because she understands that as these fruits start to blossom and she can harvest them, this is going to bring her a lot of opportunity. She's going to have more options instead of this one option that was, oh, divine masculine comes, we get together, we do our mission together, and we, feel all of this joy in our physical union, which was really about a private agenda. Also, she's realizing that it was really, as much as she was trying to keep that in the light and be like, this is for the good of all, it really was more for her good. It was more for fulfilling her ego and her ego's desires. Again, that Emperor energy. the ego's desires, what the ego wants to happen. And she's wanting to choose differently and be very cautious going forward in what path she chooses. And here's this clarifying the strength card. It is her strength that is allowing her to maintain this caution in regards to the divine masculine energy. And it is her strength that is giving her all of these options she can choose from, because she's, even though despite this happening, despite this painful energy that's happening, she's kept her head, she's kept her wits about her. It's her wits that are ferrying her to this new shore. She doesn't know where she's going, and she's a bit afraid and worried and unsure, but she's doing it, right? This wasn't in a reverse. This was upright. She's taking herself away from this suffering and this pain. It's no longer going to be a part of her story. She's like, you know, from the beginning, from when I was young and I was first forming relationships with people, first of all, the people that modeled relationships to me, and that could have been like my actual guardian figures, or it could have been in the media and the movies and stuff. The idea of longing and separation and coming together and all of this fantasy story, this is what formed my beliefs about what a relationship feels like. And she's really learning that that is not what it should feel like, actually. It shouldn't be this hard. It shouldn't be this difficult. It shouldn't be a struggle with a physical masculine. There's a struggle inside of self that is eternal, but the physical manifestation reflects back to you the support and love and connection and communication, not the separation, right? That's ego. And so she's really starting to understand that and learn that lesson. And can I tell you how strong she is? Because there's that strength card again, in union with the strength card in her headspace. And the strength is what is clarifying this Ace of Pentacles. She knows she is strong enough to make her own offer. She is strong enough to bring her own significant, solid offer to the table for herself, and to be able to work on what it is that she's gifted at doing and turn that into a real world offer that's a significant size. She's so strong and has the ability to do that. And she's really holding out that she will see a return on this investment from that Seven of Pentacles. And then we have Justice in reverse, because justice is not here. It has not been done. If anything, there has been injustice throughout this separation, throughout the way that this has been handled. And it is clarifying here the Six of Swords. She needs to do herself justice. It is not just for her to receive this kind of treatment from a divine masculine. It is not just. And so she needs to do justice to and for herself in this union to be able to achieve the overfeeling that she's having, which is this Two of Cups, right? This is the physical union. This is the ability to break bread, to communicate, the reunion that she has desired. This is what has not been done justice towards, and this is what she must do justice towards. She must have this in herself. Now, this is upright as well. This doesn't mean it's elusive or it isn't here. She needs to experience this truly with herself. And it's so difficult to do when you feel sadness over this distress you're feeling about this emperor who's not shown up for you. But it is very possible for her to experience her own balancing of the scales. And that involves her reciprocity towards herself. She can no longer be giving to a physical divine masculine that is not receiving and not giving. That is where the imbalance is. That is where the injustice is. This whole time she's felt like, oh, the injustice is that divine masculine isn't coming towards me. And it's not that. It's that she is giving to an unworthy receiver, because somebody who's not matching you where you are at isn't worthy of a seat at your table. So she has to choose the type of individuals who can have a place at her table. It's going to be an emperor in his light traits. It's going to be a king of wands who takes action. It's going to be a strong communicator, a strong eternal connection that doesn't require her to sacrifice any part of herself, any part of herself, or hide, or, which is another thing that was coming up for her, the Seven of Swords in release in reverse yesterday, or hide any part of herself. That is who is worthy of coming to her table. So she has to do this justice to herself and only allow that type of an individual access. All right, let's look at divine masculine energy. These two, I gotta tell you. Top of the deck, overall headspace for divine masculine, the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So he's feeling, he's thinking, I lost it. It's gone. It's gone. I lost it. It's my fault. It could have been here if I stepped up, and I didn't. I didn't bring it. I didn't manifest it. I didn't make it happen. And I want it. It's at the forefront of my mind, but I lost it. I blew it. And the niggling thought in the back of his mind, the Empress. So divine feminine is on his mind. It's in the back of his mind. It's constantly there. He's thinking about her all day long. And just like the Emperor is on the divine feminine side and fixed and unmoving, this divine feminine is sitting there waiting for that 10 of Pentacles that divine masculine is not bringing. He's not bringing his happiness. He's just not there. The first thing on his mind, King of Swords in reverse. So he is really desiring to release the shadow traits of this king. He does not want to be cold. He does not want to be icy. He does not want to be aloof, but he is. He is. He's not approachable. He is not approachable. He is not able to express. He has not conquered his emotions, and he is not able to express them, because here's the King of Cups energy as well. And this is, a person who is loving, kind, compassionate, just, caring, honorable, chivalrous, but incapable of speaking his feelings, of expressing how he feels. He's just not able to do this. He has to remain silent to protect his kingdom. And he has had to be in the shadow traits of the King of Swords to maintain this silence. He's needed to be aloof and cold so that he can stay in this protective stance. Then we have, I can't pick the card up, the Moon, and it's in its reverse. He's really thinking that he wants to release his anxieties and his fears and his uncertainty. But it's also about moving towards this divine feminine energy, this goddess of the moon energy, these twin towers, the twins themselves coming together. He wants to leave the 5D energy. He wants to come out of it, but he can't. He cannot. He cannot bring the 10 of Pentacles. He has to be cold, icy, and aloof in order to protect his kingdom. And he can't go towards his divine feminine, that divine feminine energy. He's not trusting intuition. He's not utilizing the dream space or the subconscious to assist him. And then here's the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. It's not come forward. He's not able to bring it. Instead, this is clarifying this King of Swords energy. He's withholding it. He is not bringing it. He is remaining icy. He is remaining cold because of this. Now for Divine Masculine, this was in Divine Feminine's headspace yesterday, or heart space yesterday. And when we talked about it yesterday, for her, it was about sacred union. It was about her wanting to have sacred union with the divine. And it wasn't so much about marriage. But in seeing this today and really reflecting upon it, I also think that it is about these rigid belief systems that have kept this Divine Masculine incapable of expressing. There is something about tradition, authority, past legal contracts, and particularly religious beliefs that have made him feel that he has had to protect Divine Feminine and is incapable of expressing to her what he feels. And because of this is what he's thinking, remember, because of this rigid system, because of tradition, because of this whatever thing he's bound to legally or could hurt him in a legal way, he can't have the lovers. He cannot. He has to remain in this 5D energy. And now he doesn't even have that because Divine Feminine is like, nope, I'm not there with you anymore, bro. I'm not there. I can't do that with you anymore. It is time for Divine Feminine to move on out. She wants to turn that Chariot energy around and she wants to move. And she doesn't know where and she doesn't know how, but it is not towards 5D energy with this Divine Masculine. It is towards her own union in herself. And so Divine Masculine is acutely aware that he has lost his 10 of Pentacles and he has lost his ability to reunite in that lover's energy. Let's go into his heart space. Top of the deck, overall feeling of his heart space, strength in reverse. So that's 3 times the charm. But for Divine Masculine, he doesn't have the strength. He's not facing his beast and fighting it off. He's not controlling his pride and his ego the way that Divine Feminine is. He's fully allowing his pride and ego to run the show, and it is not running the show very well, and he's really needing strength. He has also always found his strength coming from the Divine Feminine, which, as you can see, she has a lot of it, and he has always been looking to her for the strength, and he can't do that anymore. He's also feeling that the strength that she had, he basically he's put her through the paces to the point where she doesn't have strength to endure with him any longer. And that's true. Her strength is about enduring in herself, not enduring with a physical manifestation. So he really feels that she's hit her point, her saturation point, and there's no more strength coming towards him. There's no more of this energy being shared with him. It's like he has to now find his own strength to go on. And he's afraid. That's definitely a fear there, that he's afraid he doesn't have enough strength to do this. And the niggling feeling, well, it is another mirror, actually union. It's justice in reverse. The niggling feeling is he didn't bring in justice. There has been an injustice. There's been an imbalance in this relationship, and he hasn't been strong enough to balance the scales. Oh my God. Then we have more union. We have the 7 of Cups in reverse. And for Divine Feminine, when I held that card, I really felt that it was not that she's made her choices and that she wasn't confused, but actually that she's resisting making a choice because she doesn't know which cup to choose, and she doesn't even want to face having to make this choice because she knows what choice she needs to make, and she doesn't even want to make it. She doesn't want to have to choose. Divine Masculine is actually in the same kind of a space. He knows that what choice he must make. Look at him prostrate here in this image. Literally, I mean, I've been in this place before where I've just literally prostrated myself before God and said, like, God, what? Really, honestly, please, like, can you just tell me these things I should do? Like, this is an intense kind of an energy. And he has honestly thrown himself at the feet of the divine in this overwhelming, he does not like this feeling of having all these feelings, being really overwhelmed, and prostrated himself and just really asked, from his heart, like, how can I choose differently? Because right now, this is the clarifier for this King of Swords in reverse. Right now, I have no choice. I have no choice but to be in this energy. And I have no way to communicate this with her. And it is my deepest desire. This is the Ace of Wands. It is my deepest desire to be able to express to her, but I can't. I can't do it. And there are real world reasons why I can't do this. And there's no way for me to be able to explain them to her. And so that uncertainty that she feels is why I can't move towards her. But he's trying to be patient. This is this Three of Wands energy. He's really trying to be patient and to trust that the pieces have been put in place and that what he desires will come to pass, but not from his own machinations at this point, but from the source. He is tapping into that source and allowing that source to do its work and really, really bring his ships in regards to this uncertainty and coming out of the 5D energy into the 3D energy. That's not a coincidence that we have a 3 on top of that moon card, which is very much 5D energy, and then being patient that the things that he has put in place in reality will bring him what he truly desires. Yesterday, we saw him resisting this healing, this Nine of Wands energy, but we're seeing his heart space today, clarifying that he cannot bring this pentacle in until he is fully healed. And he's accepting that and trying to go within and do that healing that he needs to do. That's what he's feeling he needs strength for as well, because he's deeply, deeply, deeply wounded. And those wounds are really making it so difficult for him to express and to be able to have his heart's desire. And here's that 10 of Pentacles. So here's union with head and heart. He's lost it. He's lost this 10 of Pentacles. He's lost his ability to have this happiness. He's lost the ability to have what it is that he's desired. And it's because of this Hierophant energy. It's because of this rigid belief system or these authority figures or these past legal contracts. There's something that is blocking this 10 of Pentacles. And he's really feeling a deep loss because of this. But the one thing he's holding on to, and I just love that there's another lion in this image, the Six of Wands, and there's that lion back here, that strength, this victory. He wants to have victory over this reunion in the 3D. He wants to see this victory and bring this victory to this union. And he's willing to go into that Nine of Wands energy to do this and to trust in the divine, that the pieces are in place. And he's also realizing that he has to focus on himself. This is a solo victory. He has to unite these lovers in himself. Divine Feminine has done that work and skyrocketed right past him. She's gone. She's gone. Like his song yesterday. Bye-bye. His song today was Why Control, and actually from Yes. And the song for the Divine Feminine, it's funny because I couldn't find it on Instagram to be able to post it, but it was a song by Matthew Deere called Before I Go. And it was like, I want to spend more time with you before I go. And it was just kind of sad. But for divine masculine, Y control was like, you know, oh, my love goes wrong and I'm not getting what I want. But he's really wanting to be victorious over this connection and somehow bring justice, have the strength to bring justice. Okay, let's now go into the oracles. Again, we're getting a lot of oracles, so bear with me. I also have to teach this morning. I pushed it back to 11, so we should be good. But so I was like, I don't think I'm going to be done by 10:30 today. All right, divine feminine, let's give you some assistance. You are in the light attributes of the thief energy, which is a shedding light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. You are not allowing divine masculine to steal your heart. He cannot steal it. Your heart belongs to you. That union is inside of yourself. And so you are in that place where you are realizing that he might be able to break your heart, but he cannot steal it. This is your own power, your own wealth. It is within you and no one can take it from you, not even a truly disappointing version of the divine masculine. You are in the shadow attributes of the martyr, which is an addiction to self-pity. And having spent a lot of time in really pitying myself in the last day, I feel this card very hard. And I knew I was doing that. I was like, oh, you know, it kind of felt good, honestly, to pity myself and to be like, oh, it's so pitiful. You've done all of these things and made all of these sacrifices. And for what? For what? Waking up at 3 a.m. every morning and just really not being able to sleep and being in that, like, but going into prayer and releasing that self-pitying. So you need to call in the light, which is learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. So when I'm asking that question, for what? For what? It's service. Because my journey, which has been really painful, let me tell you, it expanded me so that I could teach these lessons, so that I could do this work. My sister did a reading for me last night and she pulled from the Work Your Light. It's not the one I have. It's by the same, it's by Rebecca Campbell, but it's different. I don't know exactly what it is, but the card that she pulled was literally about balancing divine masculine and divine feminine, that was my work. And I was like, you don't say. So understanding that the pain that you're going through and the feelings that you're having in regards to this physical union not happening really is not about you at all. It is about your ability to, first of all, figure out what you need inside of self. And then by doing that, you're able to help others do the same thing and really create a lot of positive change. And as a musician, a writer, an artist, you are constantly pulling from very uncomfortable experiences and processing them and then giving them back to people in a way that they can partake of them safely. So, and also feel like they can relate and feel like they're not alone. And that is a transcendent work, and it requires suffering. To be a martyr, you have an agreement. You are willing to suffer in order to bring in the light, and you are needing to really learn that lesson, divine feminine. You are in the light attributes right now of the mother, nurturance, patience, unconditional love, and a joy in giving birth to life. So this is you and your Empress energy. You are in the light traits of that. You are nurturing. And I do believe you are nurturing yourself because you've learned how to do this actually. You've learned how to have this compassion for yourself, etc. So I do feel that you are in the light traits in that way, and that you're doing a good job of finding joy in painful experience of giving birth and understanding that what you're giving birth to is, you know, it's worth all of the pain, and you're really trying to be patient with that and really feel this unconditional love, which is that you might have decided to walk away from divine masculine physical manifestation of him at this point. But you never walk away from that feeling of unconditional love for him. You will never take that. Like, that can't be stolen from him, just like it can't be stolen from you. It's just the physical manifestation of the relationship is off the table, but the love is really still there. You're being told again, Saint Cecilia is with you again to play music. And you know what? I didn't do it yesterday, so guess I got to do that today. I'm sure I could write a doozy today after all my experiences lately. So play music, listen to music, let music soothe you, let it heal you. You know, if you're sad, listen to sad music and get your sad feelings out, and then shift into happy music and start to feel joy. Like, let that power of music and its messages really help you today. And your guardian angel is here to tell you, you are triumphant. You are triumphant. It's triumphant that you have been able to relinquish the hold of this very, very authoritative, powerful, divine masculine energy. You have been able to detach from it enough for you to see your own worth, your own inner emperor energy, your own pentacles, your own potential. So you are triumphant. You thought that this triumph was going to be this physical union, but the triumph is never the physical union. It's the non-physical union inside of self. I don't know how many times I'm saying it. I know I sound like a broken record. I promise you, you're going to get it. And then when you get it, you're going to feel so amazing, because everything that you want is going to just start popping into your life, because the truth is that you are enough, you are complete, you are whole. That's the triumph. That's the triumph, that there is nothing that can be stolen from you, right? In my appreciation, I offer no resistance. Appreciation and self-love are the most important aspects you could ever nurture. Appreciation of others and the appreciation of yourself are the closest vibrational matches to source energy of anything we have ever witnessed anywhere in the universe. So when you are in this time where you are aching and you are sad and you're experiencing your heartbreak and you're doing this work and you're fighting against, you know, yourself even, and you're trying to be cautious and trying to figure out exactly what you're going to do, keep coming back to appreciation for what you have all around you, because you do have things to be that you can appreciate right now, and your own powerful self-love. Be bold and make the first move. So you are embarking on a very new journey. This has been an old story, this journey you've been on for a long time. So you're being encouraged right now to be bold and make the first move, which is actually away, not towards divine masculine, but away. Have faith in your dreams. Your dreams were bigger than this physical manifestation, I'm assuming. If your dreams were only about the physical manifestation, then you really got to recalibrate there. I'm assuming you had bigger dreams than that. So you really want to have faith in those dreams, whatever they are, that didn't involve the physical manifestation. Believe that those things are still possible, that you can have those things on your own, and in fact must have those things on your own in order for you to feel true ownership of them. And then keep this in mind. Nothing is yet set in stone. So any decisions that you make right now, it's immutable. Things change. Things change constantly. The energy changes every day as we look at it every single day. The whole reason you check in every single day with me is because you know that things are mutable, that things change, that they shift. So have faith in your dreams. Nothing is yet set in stone. You are going the right way. You are doing the right thing. Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. I recommend Divine Feminine doing a proper unbinding ceremony with Divine Masculine. There's all different ways of doing this ceremony. I know that some people say that when you do cord cutting ceremonies that you run the risk of the cord growing back. So an unbinding ceremony that I did once with a physical manifestation of the divine masculine that broke me last year, a different one. Gotta love my patterns with that, with my divine masculine representations. That ceremony was where you picture between you, and you can Google this on YouTube or whatever, there's tons of them, but you might want to look for unbinding versus cord cutting. But the unbinding is where you picture, kind of an enmeshed, entangled, I'm a knitter. So I pictured like this glowing sort of cord between us that had formed this knotted ball of yarn. And then as we both came together and sort of unraveled it, unbound it, and released it. And then I pulled it from the root out of myself instead of cutting it. And then he can do whatever he wants with his side. That's his own business. But I at least unentangled like what was there between us and then pulled it from the root. And that can be something that can be really helpful with the physical manifestation that you're attached to. So you might want to do an unbinding and understand that you are released from these soul patterns, from these contracts in past life. You made this contract, but you don't have to choose that twin flame here in this incarnation. And now we're getting Ant Spirit. And these are my new cards, so I am going to read from the book. And this is Time to Collaborate. So let us see what the Ant Spirit has to tell us. I love this book. This is by Colette Baron Reed. The oracle message is, when Ant Spirit comes to visit, it's time to celebrate the benefits of working in a partnership with others as part of a community or tribe. Spirit reminds you that to build your dream, you need to work with others, accept help, and trust in your most important partnership, the one you have with Spirit. Your intentions will come to fruition if you remain awake and focused on co-creating your reality with others and with Spirit. Remember that the world around you can easily seduce you if you don't have some sort of practice or discipline like meditation to keep you on track as you build the life you desire. Connecting with others and having accountability partners can be very helpful, as it's unlikely that everyone will fall asleep at the same time. The other message Ant Spirit holds is that you are now at an auspicious time to ask for help and receive it, whether you need help assembling a team, finding a new tribe, or requesting assistance from others who are there for you. Everything is working to support you right now. Okay, so you are definitely called to turn to your community right now and get the support you need. That is how I got through my day yesterday. I have two ride or dies, one being my sister, of course, but the other being my chosen sister, who I talk to almost every day for quarantine because she lives alone in Manhattan and I live alone in Los Angeles. And we both got to experience this crazy time together. And I turned to both of them, and both of them gave me the best, most nurturing and supportive love that I could have. And that is the best thing during this time, is turning to that community. If you don't have anyone in your community, my Gmail is tunedintaro@gmail.com. If you are if you are in pain, if you are in need, please don't hesitate. I will at least help you connect with others that can help you, or help you find some solace during this time. But it is time to collaborate, work with others, ask for help. If you are in this place of like, how do I move? I want to move from my apartment. How, where? I don't even know. During this crazy ass time, like, where am I going to go? Turn to the people in your community, tell them what it is that you're wanting, and somebody is going to help give you guidance or give you an opportunity that you don't know is possible yet. All right, let's head over to Divine Masculine. He's got plenty of advice as well. Divine Masculine, you're in the shadow attributes of the slave, which is giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So you're definitely giving your willpower. This other authority that has blocked you, look at what it's blocking. It's blocking your total fulfillment and happiness in this world. And you are surrendering your willpower to it. Oh, I can't speak. I can't speak out against it. I can't do anything against it. I'm completely at its mercy. You need to call in the light attributes of the slave, which is surrendering your power of choice to the divine, not to an external authority figure that says you have to go to church on Sunday or you're going to burn in hell. And I'm not saying that that's the authority figure. I'm just saying that type of authority figure, which is not internal, it's external. You need to surrender to the internal divine with complete trust. If you can do that, divine masculine, you can shift out of this giving your willpower to this external authority that is literally ruining your life, bro. This is ruining your life utterly. Are you going to take that? Are you kidding? My friend yesterday, when I was talking to her, she was like, the one thing I love about you and I want to borrow from you is that you're like, she was listening to a woman from North Korea talk about her experiences there and talking about how, you know, they were never taught to question authority. And my friend is like, bitch, I really need to borrow that from you, because literally anybody who's ever told me what to do, I've been like, fuck no, you can't fucking tell me what to do. I'm not gonna fucking do that. Like, are you fucking serious? I will do whatever the fuck I need to do to make sure that you don't have any fucking control over me. Which is why when I found myself in a controlling and abusive relationship, I was utterly shocked, because I always thought of myself as somebody who would never be able to have that kind of control. But my worthiness was so far gone at that point in time. It was just ground down to a nub that it was like the myth of the frog in the boiling water, which I found out is a myth. Like, he definitely will jump out, but the idea that like slowly I had been ground down to the point where I believed that I was the reason why I was experiencing abuse. But the thing that woke me up was that I decided I would go back to school for music. And the second that I valued what was precious and what I was passionate for, it was like somebody threw an ice water over my head. And I remembered who I was from a child, which was a very defiant child, by the way. I had issues. I had teachers who loved me because I was bubbly and did a good job in school, and teachers who despised me because if they said anything that I felt was just whack, I would be like, what the fuck? Like, I remember in third grade, a nun would teach. I went to a Catholic school and I had a secular teacher for the third grade classroom. So she wasn't allowed to teach religion. And during the day, she would switch and go teach math to the fourth grade class. And then the nun who taught the fourth grade class, who was really mean, would come and teach the third grade class religion. And I definitely, she formed complete and total hatred for me, because in the first religion class, she's told us that you had to be Catholic to go to heaven. And my dad is Mohawk and Indigenous and French Canadian and was not Catholic at all, and was like the most loving, caring Pisces you've ever met. And I remember being like, I actually think that's wrong. I think it's probably more like what your heart is, because I just don't think that God would be like, oh, all these people who never even heard of Catholic Church before would go to hell. And my teacher was like, no, that's not right. And I cried and threw a huge fit at the age of 8 and was like, you're wrong, and like was sobbing and so upset, because inside I knew that there was no way that was true. If God was love, which I had been taught every single day, my entire life up until that point, then he wouldn't reject my dad. Like, he wouldn't reject my dad because he didn't believe the same exact things I believed. I knew that intrinsically, and I refused to accept that authority. That is the kind of strength you need to face off when someone is taking your willpower, or you're giving your willpower to an external source. You need to defy that external source. It will free you immediately as you start to question, why would I ever give this other outside source authority over me, right? Why? Never. You would never do that, and you should never do that. You are also in the shadow attributes of the detective, which is voyeurism and falsifying information. So you are just watching, divine feminine, and you are not asking questions, you are just falsifying information. So you're watching what's going on with her and then making up stories about it in your head and believing it. You need to be in the light attributes, which is great powers of observation and intuition and a desire to seek out the truth. And how do you find out the truth? You don't do it by trying to glean this information from from watching what she's doing or, no, you just ask her with your mouth whole. You just ask and she'll give you truth. You also need to trust your intuition instead of going into the headspace where you're constantly like trusting in your worries and anxieties and fears. You need to trust your intuition. You are also, I knew this because your temperance card was in reverse so much. You're in the shadow attributes of the addict, which is compromises integrity and honesty and allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. So you need to call in the light. You need to recognize and confront your addictive behavior. This is holding you back. You've got a lot of blocks right now, bro. You've got a lot of healing to do. And you're flailing because Divine Feminine is being like, hey, you got to do it on your own. And so you're really flailing because you were resisting doing it on your own because of your wounds. But you have, look at that strength. That strength is within you and you are needing to trust in it. Be brave, Divine Masculine. Your guardian angel is here to help you. Be brave. It is difficult. It is scary to confront addiction by ourselves. It is difficult and scary to have been surrendering your willpower and having to call that back in. Your brave card jumped. You really, really afraid. Be brave. You can do it. Marriage. Saint Catherine of Alexandria is here to support you in this Hierophant energy, right? There's that marriage, that sacred union. You may have entered into a sacred union that is now blocking you from going your own way to your 10 of Pentacles. But Saint Catherine is here to help you, assist you with that energy. And I know that this is something that you desire to have with your twin, with your Divine Feminine, and you still desire that. It wouldn't be here if you didn't. So you're being supported right now. Do a devotion to Saint Catherine of Alexandria. Do a novena. Look up novena for Saint Catherine and do it. It's like 9 days of prayer with her. I am standing on the leading edge of thought. Just as all of your experiences from the time of your birth into your physical body until now have culminated into who you are, all that has ever been experienced by all that is has culminated into all that is now being experienced in the physical life experience on planet Earth. Wow, that's a mouthful. So you are standing on the leading edge of thought means that everything that is here right now, it has been experienced by all that is, and it's culminated now. So the expansion that you're in is the expansion from all that is, like that spirit, that source, that thing that, and that spark that is in all of us. This that we're experiencing comes from that collective experience. And you are standing on the leading edge of it. You are an incarnation. You have the ability to create this expansion and to utilize all the lessons from it. You are literally standing on the leading edge of that. Prosperity lies ahead. It's a feeling right now that with this healing that you're doing, with this facing of this addictive behavior, you are going to finally be able to experience that prosperity. And it's Taurus energy too, which has also got marriage, cozy family, 10 of Pentacles type energy with it. So prosperity lies ahead for you, Divine Masculine. You have to trust in that. You must look at the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture of what is going on right now. Don't get caught up in these little details. Just focus on how much progress that you've made. Maybe you aren't going to have this physical union at this time because you still have this healing to do. But look at how much healing you have done and how much you have learned by desiring this physical union. You've desired to change, and your motivation at first was about that physical union. But you're starting to see that it can't be about that, because when it is about that, it prevents you from achieving it. You're understanding that it really can't be about being with this Empress. It has to be about embodying Empress energy inside of self. So look at the bigger picture here. And I didn't even pay attention, but birthing a new age. This is literally Empress energy. Birthing new creations and dreaming a new world into being. Divine Feminine is here with you and doing this birthing. She's got that mothering energy. There's this Empress energy, and birthing is painful, Divine Masculine. It is extraordinarily painful, and you have to have a lot of strength to endure being able to birth a new creation. And you're really needing to call on that strength that is within you right now. Ooh. Groundhog spirit. Time to let go. Time to let go, Divine Masculine. Divine Feminine's always one step ahead of you. Endings lead to beginnings, and death is a part of life. So Groundhog Spirit is here to let you know that it is time to accept the natural ending of something that is no longer serving you. We love to hold on to what is familiar, but the new needs space to arrive so growth can occur. When Groundhog Spirit appears, it is a sign that there is something in your present situation that you need to let go of so that something new can be born, something that will far better serve you now. When the groundhog sees his shadow, he retreats to his den. So too might you yearn for a little more time to say goodbye and transition into the new. However, change is coming, and it is good. So let go of your resistance. Spring brings many blessings, and what must die will always be reborn in a new form that will be right for you. Life requires change and detachment. Say farewell to whatever once served you and get ready for something amazing to take its place. Spirit is already sending it your way. Okay? I couldn't have put it better myself. Thank you, Colette Baron Reed. All right. Wow, I got to get moving here. So let's go over the last bottom of the deck for you all. You are in the light attributes of healer energy, which is a passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, and the ability to transform pain into healing. So this energy is really here for you. It is lighting you up. It is helping you move forward. You are able to transform your pain into healing. St. Christopher is here to help you with safe travels. There was a reversal on this, so there's an emphasis to this card. St. Christopher is about traveling within. It's about soul searching, about that hermit energy, and about journeying. It could have had a reversal because it's just a warning maybe not to travel at this time. There could be a reason for you to wait if you were planning to travel. If you are planning to travel, though, bring a St. Christopher medal with you, or bring some kind of a St. Christopher prayer with you. He will protect you so that you will have safe travels. And remember that as he was ferrying this infant across this water, he discovered that he was really bearing Christ. So St. Christopher is actually this manifestation that tells us that Christ is literally with us on this earth. I will do my best to make the best of it. A key to regaining your feeling of empowerment is to decide right now that no matter how good or how bad you are feeling, you're going to do your best to make the best of it. Do that again and again, and in a short period of time, you will find yourself in a very good feeling place. And I can attest to this. Hold that as your mantra today. I will do my best to make the best of it. Hold your vision. Hold your vision of this union, of this wholeness inside of self. Hold your vision that you have for your dreams coming to pass. Just hold your vision, divine couple. Here is Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations and divine plan. So trust in that divine plan. This is Jesus's grandmother. There were all of these manifestations that had to occur in order for Christ to be born here on the earth. And she was just a part of this divine plan. And it's this reminder for you that this time of separation, this time of walking away, of letting things die, it is part of the divine plan. You may not experience your physical manifestation here during this time, and that is part of the plan. And then we have Beaver Spirit, which honestly I have pulled so many times since I got this deck for Christmas. But this is lay a solid foundation. Beaver Spirit is here to tell you about a power living within you that is born of spirit, the source from which all life arises. This is the power to establish the sacred connection with the universal consciousness, so you can deliberately co-create the world you desire. Know that it takes work, determination, and sustained effort to co-create and lay a solid foundation for your dreams. If with spirit as your partner, you bring the twigs and branches of your intentions and desires and spread them across the river of time, you will be amazed at what you can do. You will find that you can even change the direction of the flow of life. You can ensure that your world will be prosperous and purposeful, filled with love and joy, and rich with magic and meaning. That which you desire will come to you and remain sustainably if you build on a sturdy foundation. Keep your intention and energy consistent and deliberate, using all your resources and the energy of this wonderful, productive time. Have faith, for with spirit to co-create with you, your success is assured. Spirit is your partner, helping you along as you change the course of your life in the way your heart desires. So, you are not alone in building this foundation. You are also being called right now to understand that the union, this is the bottom of the deck for the union. The union is with spirit. It's with spirit, and it's always been with spirit. Even if when you've been coming to these readings, you've been thinking of this manifestation, a physical manifestation. What I've been reading this whole time is in you. It is this co-creation with spirit, the balance of those energies inside of self. And then I'm going to close the reading with this goddess energy from these goddess knowledge cards, the Lady of the Lake. As in many traditions in which a goddess bestows kingship, the Lady of the Lake, a mysterious Celtic goddess, gave King Arthur the sword Excalibur, and thus established his power and his right to be king. Before he died, Arthur restored the sword to her, and it now remains with her beneath the waters of the deep. Water, the source of all life, has long been the domain of the goddess. Lake represents both the source of creative power and the land of the dead, life-giving and death or renewal being the two main functions of the goddess. Water indicates both consciousness and revelation. The Lady of the Lake is a guide to the mysterious realms of emotion and renewal. A source of immense creativity, she can give us the energy we need to rule our lives. And that really aligns with that St. Christopher energy of traveling across that water. And with the Six of Swords energy from Divine Feminine, using that sword to travel across the waters of emotion. All right, I must end this reading. It's gone over quite a long while. I hope that you got really helpful messages from it. I know that I did. I know this is a tough time because personally, I thought I was going to come into this time and experience my physical union, and I didn't. And I can tell that I'm not going to. And I'm releasing that attachment. And it is very difficult. Very, very, very difficult to do that. But I do feel relieved because I didn't want to be in a place where I was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. I wanted to be bold and make the first move. I wanted to shine in my star energy and not be hidden. I want to receive what I put in. So I'm hopeful, even in a place of pretty serious heartbreak, because it's pretty serious. So if you are with me in the collective in that energy, know that you can call on me, tunedintaro@gmail.com, if you need a reading. If you need spiritual counseling, nutritional counseling, if you want music in your life in some way, I teach music, I do all of those things. Please like, subscribe, share so we can grow this channel and help lots of people receive this guidance, which is so important, of coming into alignment in self. And I hope that you got what you needed here today. Have a good rest of your day. Take care, everyone.